Here are the latest numbers we're getting from CAL FIRE. They're reporting at least 24 people have been killed in these two fires and more than 12,000 structures destroyed. Firefighters are still doing damage assessments right now. A drive down the Pacific Coast Highway in Malibu shows the damage left behind. You can see there on the right up next to the ocean. CAL FIRE says the Palisades fire is nearly 24,000 acres and it is only 14% contained. They believe about 5,000 structures have been damaged or destroyed. And tonight, CAL FIRE is concerned about the winds.
Severe fire weather conditions will continue through Wednesday. Please be assured that all fire departments and all law enforcement agencies in the area will be prepared. The anticipated winds, combined with low humidities and low fuel moistures, will keep the fire threat in all of Los Angeles County critical.
The Eden and Palisades fires are likely the second and fourth most destructive in all of California history. The first is the Camp Fire in Paradise. And we're now learning that 6 days before the Pacific Palisades fire, another fire broke out on that same hillside New Year's Day.
We want to show you this photo from that early morning on January 1st. The man who took it says this is from his backyard in Pacific Palisades. Residents called 911 about reports of fireworks, and firefighters got that fire under control. And then this is a photo from that same man on the day of the Palisades fire. Those flames igniting in the same spot. Well, firefighters have said the cause is under investigation. A reporter with the San Francisco Chronicle showed the photos to a pair of experts in wildfire investigations, and the experts said severe winds could have rekindled smoldering embers from the earlier blaze and kick-started the deadly fire even 6 days later. We'll hear from that journalist about his findings and have a chance to ask him a few questions coming up in our next half hour.
And this is new video we want you to see from the Eaton fire in Altadena. Homes destroyed, leveled to the ground. As you see here, just piles of ash on each lot, row by row, street by street. CAL FIRE says more than 7,000 structures have been damaged or destroyed, and those are many of them that you see there. The fires burned more than 14,000 acres. It's 33% contained. At 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., curfew remains in effect in fire zones, with officials confirming about 50 arrests so far.
We have live team coverage right now on these fires with a look at how weather conditions the next few days will impact firefighters.
But first, let's get to Pacific Palisades, where we've got NBC's Jennifer Bjorklund joining us live now. And Jennifer, now several days later, what are you seeing there now in Pacific Palisades?
Lisa, we've gotten into the heart of Pacific Palisades, where, as you know, the destruction has just been unbelievable. You see behind me is this is Village School, the tower. It's very recognizable to people who know Pacific Palisades. It's a private school, and it's just hanging on by a thread there, as is this community, knowing that containment lines did grow over the weekend, but this afternoon so does concern that wind will be kicking back up, and this crisis is far from over. There is help pouring in from all directions. That drone damaged Super Scooper from Canada will be back in action in the air tomorrow, we're told, once they're cleared by the FAA. And we also have dozens of Mexican firefighters from the federal fire team and also the Mexican Army joining the front lines of the Palisades fire this morning after they got training all week at March Air Reserve. So while the work continues to contain the fire before the wind kicks up, there's still that very grim grid search going on, specifically in Altadena, where they're looking for people that are unaccounted for. My last count, when you looked at the number of people who were missing, unaccounted for, ones that had turned up at certain places but hadn't checked in, it looks like there might be at least six people who are still unaccounted for and missing that they have not heard from. So that search also continues as they continue to try to dig these containment lines before the wind kicks up.
And Jennifer, in terms of what you're seeing with people who have lost everything, what's the situation for them right now? Are shelters filling up, or are they starting to get resources distributed to them? How's the flow of all of that going, the logistics of it all?
Yeah. They're There are a lot of people that are looking for medium-term housing to figure out what their next steps are. You know, there are places that are filling up over the next few days, and then someone is leaving, and then another person wants to check in. You know, hotels and Airbnbs around town, and a rental housing. So that's going to be the next big crunch. And also, where are the kids going to go to school when their schools burn down? You know, is it going to go back to that online classroom like we had during the pandemic? There's a lot of questions that still need answers tonight.
A lot of questions, a lot of concerns right now. Jennifer, thank you.
And for a check of how the conditions are impacting the firefighters, meteorologist Heather Waldman, and we know that there's another red flag warning in effect this week, right, Heather?
Yeah, it's already in effect now. It will stay in effect through midday on Wednesday, and that's because we're still in this stubborn, dry offshore wind pattern. And effectively, we haven't had any rain on the fuels in Southern California yet this season. So this red flag warning extends from the mountains of San Luis Obispo County all the way down to inland parts of San Diego County. Wind gusts in general between 30 and 50 miles per hour, that very low humidity, all that combined with the dry fuels just means wildfires can start very easily. Now, there are some areas within the red flag warning where the winds on their own may be strong enough to do some damage. The areas highlighted here in Fuchsia, in Ventura County, and parts of Los Angeles County, as well to the north of downtown LA around the San Fernando Valley. This is where wind gusts could reach 70 miles per hour. The National Weather Service calling this a particularly dangerous situation. Not saying that a fire will start here, but if one were to start in these areas, there's the potential for those fires to start very fast, and that potential for, again, catastrophic urban fires if one were to start near one of those developed areas. But I want to point out, this is the perimeter of the Palisades fire. This is the Eaton fire. So neither are within that most severe wind area. I also want to show you the progress being made on the fires. Our satellite image here, not showing any smoke showing up. That's a good sign. Not to say that the fires aren't burning, but they're not nearly as active as what we saw last week. Take the Palisades fire, for example. In the first 2 days, more than 19,000 acres burned. Over the last several days, about 1,000 acres. And so far today, no new growth, and containment lines continue to strengthen. So again, the potential is there for new fires to start, but progress is being made for Palisades and for the Eaton fire. Back to you.
Heather, thank you. Well, today, state lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are calling for a special session to ramp up California's wildfire prevention efforts. They're also expressing concerns about stabilizing the state's insurance market. Assembly Republicans tell us they want the leaders to come together for a special session to address the issues with California's recovery process and what they call inadequacies to prevent similar disasters.
We need to address the immediate needs of Californians, including permanently eliminating red tape and expedited cleanup and recovery and rebuild for all Californians affected by wildfires from the northern part of our state to the southern part.
Today's call from state Republicans comes as they have criticized Democrats over plans for a special legislative session meant to prepare the state for legal battles with President-elect Donald Trump and his administration. A session which was scheduled for today was postponed. Right after that news conference, Democrats and Governor Newsom called for an expansion, a special session that started in November. Well, the governor is proposing billions of dollars in new spending to help in the Los Angeles fire response and recovery. The governor wants to spend $2.5 billion. The governor's office says that money will be used for the ongoing emergency response. The money will pay for recovery and cleanup efforts, additional wildfire preparedness, and reopening schools closed by the fires.
Happening tomorrow, KCRA3 is partnering with the American Red Cross for a telethon to help the victims of the Southern California wildfires. That's going on from 6 a.m. tomorrow to 11:30 tomorrow night. You can donate online, or we'll have a phone number that you can call and make a donation to help directly.